Everyone, welcome back to my second video. This little webisode thing I'm going to be doing on the journey to Ironman. It says below. I said this one was going to be the recap of Ironman Barcelona 2014, but I realised I don't want to make the videos too big and explain what I've done. So I thought I'll miss that out for this week and I'll do that in the next video. Instead this week I'm going to do the recap and just introductions to the training and what I've been doing, which is why this video is called The Beginning of the Journey. So in the last video I'm going to be doing throughout the series is just the past 2 weeks. I'll recap what I've done, the distances I've trained, just to keep people up to date and let me go back and view what I've done. So with that said, let's begin. Through the past 2 weeks I've been logging all the distances I've done, what I've swam, what I've biked, what I've ran. I've managed to log them down in my iPod and remember them. Let's find out what I've done. Past 2 weeks I've swam 13,200 meters. I have biked 203 miles and I have ran 53 miles. Now they're just rough distances other than the swimming, which is pretty spot on. They're not massive, so you know, like ultra runners can do 53 miles in one day and they're just superhumans, but these distances are just stuff I'm not really into the Ironman phase yet, so I'm not getting massive distances. They're just a start to what's to come really. So this is what I mean, this is the kickstart to the distances are going to grow, and I'll recap. The distances will get bigger. I'll go for bigger swim sets. Basically the distances I've got there, they're done over like little training sessions. So for the swimming I only swim Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays in the morning. I mean, we get out the pool at 7 o'clock, so imagine what time we start. It's pretty nasty being in the pool that early in the morning. Cycling, I only cycle Tuesdays and Thursday mornings now indoors on cycle bike. I try and get out Wednesday mornings and mostly Sunday mornings, so those distances they can vary, which is where the 203 came from. On Sunday I already did 40 miles because it was so cold. I have done an 86-mile ride on my own. The running it's really weird for me. Ask anyone I know, I've got a love-hate relationship with running. I want to get good at it, but I really hate it and it hates me. So I've recently joined a running club and I'm getting faster with the running, and with what I'm doing at university I've noticed I am getting big faster. The distances aren't getting bigger necessarily, but speed overall is getting better. Fortunately I've got injuries though. I've got 2 shins, bad right with shin splints, 2 strained calves, something's going on with my hip. I don't know what it is, I'm an injured thing, so to get out running for me it's just a challenge. So that's the past 2 weeks of distances. That they're not amazing like I said, but just a recap, just to let people know. So other than that I've had a pretty boring 2 weeks with no races to look forward to. I've had nothing to train for head on and nothing to talk about, so all I've done really is just 2 park runs. So 2 weeks ago I did my 3rd park run. I think this is the one I've actually ran, and I had such a good time. I wasn't riddled with injuries, I wasn't injury free. I had a couple of sore points. It's the best I've ever ran. I ran a sub 20, my first documented sub 20 that I've ever run. I went the next week and just things went horribly wrong. I had sore legs, sore back, just everything. Went plus 20, it was just a shambles. And there'll be a picture I'll come up there of just what I wore, and you know, I think it was destined for failure from what I wore. I don't know what I was expecting. You come around the corner and people think you're wearing that for a bet. I really let myself down by wearing that. The Saturday after the last video went out, I tried to keep it secret. I probably told a few friends, family, but I tried to keep it secret. Through the year with racing, I know I talked about trophy, but I didn't talk about all my trophies. In the Northeast there's a thing called a Northeast Grand Prix. I like to think of it as a championship. So you get points based on your race. From what I've gathered from people, it goes off a percentage of your placement compared to the winner in a race. So throughout the series, I think there's 11 races or 10 races in the Grand Prix, and it's your best 5 races you get your points for. So they accumulate and you get your final, and that's your position in the Grand Prix. And it works in an overall and a category. So obviously I've done 1st and 2nd and 3rds in my category, so I must have had a fair few points. I knew that I'd come 1st in my category. I'm not going to brag, I just kind of knew, and then the preliminary results came out and I was pretty happy to say I had. And then the final results came out and it was cemented, it was in Concord. But when I was in Barcelona I didn't realise my parents were hiding a secret from us. They had found out I'd been nominated for another award, but they didn't want to tell us. They were going to have a big ceremony where over dinner they were going to tell us, because it's pretty cool to have this award. They didn't anticipate I'd get an email from the person that nominated me, because it had to be clarified. So at the award ceremony I got put up, and the first award I collected was the category award. So I picked up this. This is, you know, it's quite a cool trophy. It's probably the best one I've got at the minute. It's engraved. It hasn't got my name on. I'm going to get the name engraved because it is nice. It's a nice trophy. Now the second award is something I don't think that I earned really. I do summit races, but I don't think I earned this one fully. Me and my dad are pretty, I would say, well known, but it's not like we're famous. We help in the build up to races, and the day before we're volunteering, we're putting out our time. We spend a whole day help setting up this race. Then we're there from 5:30 in the morning, setting up this race in the morning. If that wasn't bad enough from setting the race up, is if we don't want to get scared enough or feel sick from seeing the sight of this race. we're put in for it as well, so we'll race these races. So we're setting up and we're racing, and it's pretty cool to do that. So that started because of him. He wanted to help out because he thought that everyone did it, and because he did it, I thought I may as well do it. Like, why not? So this award that I got nominated for in secret is quite a special one to me because it feels like I'm putting forward something and I'm making a difference towards these races. So the award I got nominated for is, just without further ado, so here it is: To Ironman's Young Volunteer of the Year in the North East region. Now, I mentioned those trophies I've got there, they mean nothing to some people. To me, they mean loads. These two trophies even more so. These trophies that I wouldn't say I've worked for, but the fact that people are looking at me and saying that I've worked hard for that is quite amazing. Now, the Young Volunteer Award was, when I found out how I got it, I was really just amazed and, you know, elated to find out what happened. Basically, at the Newcastle Triathlon, someone needed help getting the boys out on the lake, and I jokingly said, "Oh, I'll help if you've got a kayak." Barry Jameson said, "Do you want my kayak? And you can go out in that." So I thought, I've done kayaking before, me as well. So I helped put these boys out. Now, Barry's son, Phil, must have seen that and thought, oh, you know, it's doing some help. So he inquired to other people, this is what I've gathered, he inquired to other people to find out what I'd done and didn't realise how much I'd actually done. So from what he told me, he nominated me, put me forward, and then other people agreed. So to find out that other people said yes to this nomination of a young lad who just wants to help out with a race because he feels like it's what he's meant to do, it's just like, it's awesome to get it, and like, I can't imagine like why. So I think the past 2 weeks have been highlighted by those two awards, and I've done no races, so I can't really recap anything. I've had nothing to look forward to. In the next 2 weeks though, I'll have something else. So this weekend I've got my third cross-country race, which, you know, I've done two already, I've mentioned in the videos. I've got my third cross-country race, and then the week after, another cross-country race. Now, I've got new cross-country shoes, I haven't got them now, I wish they were here to show you. I've done no specific training for cross-country, I'm not gonna lie, I am going to suffer this weekend. It's 12k, I think it is, 12.5k, it's just going to be an absolute suffer fest. Now, I like looking forward to races, but I like looking forward to other like big training opportunities. Now, the cross-country, they're pretty cool, training is just awesome, but with being at university, you find out loads more stuff to do with sport, especially when you're on a sport course. So I know a few guys, they did research opportunities and research studies, and the latest one I've been asked to do, or it was offered and I said yes, was to help part in a mate's dissertation study. So he's looking at reproducibility of cycling test, and I said yes. You know, it'd be pretty cool. It's going to happen the next week. Basically, you do 4 studies maybe. The first one being incremental cycle test. Basically, he's just going to make it hard for you to cycle until you're about to pass out, and then he stops you there. And in the past week, I got offered to do another one. I did a study for a couple of people based on the ingestion of glucose and carbohydrates in the muscles during exercise. They're doing the same sort of test, but during rest. So you do your incremental test, and off that, they base it for the main trials. Now, you cycle at max, it'll be about 2 hours long, but they're working a percentage, and then you've got to rest for 6 hours and then get an MRI. So it's a 9-hour day. To get these study opportunities for me, it's pretty awesome, because if I want to do my dissertation on sport research, be off of these, it helps you get an insight. If you ever get the chance to take part in one, you've got to have a go, just to see some of the stuff that goes through their heads. So the same as the last video, I've probably bored you to death by now, so if you've made it to the end, thank you very much. I do like to have questions to answer now and then. I hate just talking. If anyone's going to talk to us, I've got to have a question. There are comment sections down below. If you want to, post a question, I'll answer it in the next video. Other than that, subscribe. Right here, should be here. It's golden box, the magic golden box of YouTube. At the end, they mentioned about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Add us on them, find out what I'm doing. I've got a few photos on Instagram of race. I say a few hundred. I'm quite a prominent Twitter user. So once again, thanks for watching, and can't wait to see you in the next video.